If you feel like your secondary supporting characters in your novel need to be fleshed out a little bit better, but you're not quite sure how to give them the same main character status as your actual main characters, let's talk about a writing exercise that can help you. As we know, when it comes to writing, we can't just throw in side characters and hope that the audience connects to them. Our job is to make sure that they're there for a reason and that they have their own fleshed out lives outside and independent of our main character. Best friends don't exist just to be the comedic relief or just to be the character we kill off. We have to make sure that they have substance as well. Something that I recently did inside of my own writing is to create a series of books about one occurrence. And in this series of 6 books, it's the same thing that happens in every book, but from each character's perspective. Now, you don't have to go to this extreme, but let me break down why this really works and is significantly improving of your writing. So I took this and I started with one character. I started with this book. I wrote all about this character, and she has 5 best friends. Now, these are supporting characters inside of her story, but then I took the same story and did it from the other girls' perspectives. And as I continued to flesh these out, I learned more about these characters. I now know all of these characters as their own main character status, because you and I are each our own main characters in our own stories. And while we have best friends who are the supporting characters of our stories, they have lives, they have substance, and they have stories to tell as well. We want to give our characters that same amount of substance. And so learning more about them and giving them things outside of their relationship with the main character is going to be helpful. For me, I actually wrote it as a series of novellas, so they're all the same size stories, and each girl gets their own perspective and gets their own story, and act as the supporting characters in each other's stories as well. You do not have to go to this extreme, but you can if you want to. Feel free to steal this idea. You do want to make sure that you do a little bit of a writing exercise. Now, this is going to be really helpful for you in your marketing as well. If you have secondary characters that you need to flesh out a little bit, you just need to get to know them a little better, you need to give them a life outside of your main character and outside of the story, write a scene focused on them, from their perspective. You're going to create a main character scene from them or short story for them. This is going to be something in the context of the novel you're writing, so you can do a scene from their perspective, or you can do, when they walk away from the main character, a scene off to the side, or you can do something completely independent before or after the book has taken place. With that, you're going to treat them like the main character and treat your main character as a side character if they make an appearance, which they don't have to. By doing this, you're learning more about your secondary characters. You're understanding who they are, how they speak, how they interact and engage with the world around them, independent of the story that you're writing. Now you have the opportunity to get to know them better, to understand who they are, to flesh them out a little bit without that overbearing sense of the main character being in the way. And you have the ability to use this in your marketing, because now you've got a bonus scene, a short story, or even a novella that you can be putting out into the world as you're marketing this book. So your fans, the readers who are going to love these characters, now get extra. And if you turn it into a novella, you can charge for it. Or if you got it as a short story or a bonus scene, you can hide them on your website or in your newsletter. You can do all sorts of things to then use that to your benefit. So this is not just a waste of time. You're actually going to benefit from this and help make your business more profitable. So with that in mind, if you feel like you have a character who needs a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra attention that you don't quite understand yet, or you just need to learn more about them to make them more effective inside of your novel, pause what you're doing and then decide how you're going to do this. Is it going to be a full short story or a novella? Is it just going to be a bonus scene? And is it going to be their perspective of something inside of the book or their perspective of something independent of the book that is not connected but does have something to do with their life that will help build up people's awareness of the world that you're building? Make those decisions now and get to know your characters. And this is especially great if it's early on in your book. You can learn more about them, but whether you're early, in the middle, or toward the end of your story, this is a great opportunity for you to build things up, especially before the book goes to publication, because if you happen to learn something, you can flesh out their lines, you can flesh out their scenes a little bit before it goes to print. This is a fantastic way to get better at what you're doing, to step outside of what you're doing and get those creative juices flowing, and create some marketing for you on the back end of this as well. If you've got questions on this, go ahead and drop them down below. And if you need to see how this works, if you need an idea of what's going on, grab 2 or 6 of these books from my Holiday Court series. Again, this is all about one occurrence, 6 girls coming together and then going off on their separate missions and then coming back. So we see their perspectives as we are jumping into these stories. They can be read in any order because it's all the same same storyline just from 6 different perspectives. And then you can implement this into your writing strategy as well to help you level up in what you're doing and get to know your side characters just a little bit better. We're dropping daily videos to help you level up in the writing and reading world, so make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell. And if you have questions on publishing, writing, or the reading world, drop them down below for me, and I'll see you in the next episode.